Hello. Today, I'm going to talk about the 6 steps to cancer. Before we get started, though, I'd like to mention that I like this class to be as interactive as possible, so please feel free to raise your hand in the Adobe Connect using the icon or just type any questions or comments in the chat box. First, I'm going to show you 2 cell types, and I'd like if anyone knows what is the difference between the cell on the left and the cell on the right. Feel free to type that in the box. Well, the cell on the left is a normal cell. Some of you got that. And the cell on the right is a cancerous cell. So how does this process happen? How does a cell go from being normal to cancerous? There are 2 cancer research pioneers who extensively studied this question, and they are named Professor Douglas Hanahan and Professor Robert Weinberg. And in the year 2000, they published this landmark paper called The Hallmarks of Cancer. It describes the 6 steps that have to occur in the body in order for cancer to develop. It was a breakthrough paper that basically changed cancer research, and I'll get more into the importance of that later. And with the paper, they published this diagram, which is very nice, visually appealing, and was a nice way to describe and illustrate their theory of how cancer develops. And it shows all the steps and colors and coding and has arrows pointing into the cancer's development. So it's a very nice way to show what they studied. Now I'm going to talk about the 6 steps. So step 1, self-sufficiency and growth signals. Cancer cells, unlike normal cells, can stimulate their own accelerated growth. An analogy would be like a race car that has its accelerator stuck in the on position. You can imagine how fast this car would keep going and growing, and that would be similar to a cancer cell's growth. Step 2 is insensitivity to anti-growth signals. So cancer cells can ignore the body's natural ability to suppress abnormal cell growth. Whereas a normal cell will put the brakes on abnormal cell growth, cancer cells don't, and it's like the brakes don't function and the cells just keep growing. Step 3, evading apoptosis. Apoptosis refers to programmed cell death, which an analogy would be like cell suicide, where the cell kills itself off. So in the diagram, you see how there's a normal cell that has some abnormality developing, so it starts to shrink, and then it goes through the cycle of basically disintegrating and dissolving itself. Well, cancer cells can bypass the body's natural ability to kill off abnormal cells. Step 4 is sustained angiogenesis. In this step, cancer cells will develop a separate blood supply so that they can grow faster and stronger. And types of angiogenesis are sprouting, which is like a tree branch that has the sprouts coming off. These are blood vessels. And then the bottom one would be more of a circular growth with connections, and then inner growth. Step 5 is limitless replicative potential. In this step, cancer cells have the ability to multiply endlessly. And so an analogy there would be like the Energizer Bunny, which just keeps going and going and never runs out of energy, and and they keep multiplying. Step 6 is tissue invasion and metastasis. And most of you have probably heard of the word metastasis and know that it means to what? Spread to different parts of the body. Correct. Well, cancer cells, here's a diagram, they can start in one area of the body and then be transported through the blood cells to another part of the body where a new mass will grow. And normally this occurs in the later stages of cancer. So in summary, I've outlined the 6 steps and that Hanahan and Weinberg proposed, and how the cell goes from being normal to cancerous. What is the importance of this, and how can it help us stop with the future cancer and stopping this process? Well, besides being nice to know the 6 steps, by knowing the 6 steps, we also know that since each step has to occur, then theoretically, if we can stop any one of the 6 steps, then we can stop cancer. And that's exactly what scientists have been trying to do for the last 15 or so years. They have made some progress, and we know people are living longer with cancer, but we have more to go. Cancer still exists, and we haven't eradicated it. So we need to keep doing the research and trying to answer these questions. Some additional resources here are, if you want to go to the article, there's a link there, or read more about the topic. I've created some links that I'll post. And then finally, I have an activity for you that if you can break into small groups of 2 or 3, and then first summarize the 6 steps in your own words. And second, please be prepared to share what is the importance of knowing these 6 steps and how they are beneficial to the field of cancer research. And we can do that tomorrow. Thank you very much.